good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Zip it up. Zip it up. Hobby Evolution episode 1255. Good morning. Happy. We're at Thursday already. Oh, man. Thursday, we've got the Madison Card Show this Saturday. We're just a couple days away. Do I have a banner? No. This Saturday, Madison Card Show. I don't have a upcoming banner. This Saturday, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. 200 tables. We are sold out with a waiting list at 200 tables. It's been wild, and I can't wait till I've already begun getting people upset that they can't book a table at future shows. Many people, well, when can I book? I'm like, well, I'm sold out. You're sold out 4 months in advance? Yes, we are. I'm sorry. So I have to explain why I'm sold out for the next 4 months. It's because I'm going back to 140 tables effective next month, September, and I'm looking forward to it because it's too much. It is too much. We did it a few months, and not only is it too much, but I can make as much or more money on 140 tables than what I can do on 200 tables. Some vendors will be a little happier that there's less competition. So there we go. And then there's going to be several dealers that are going to be upset because they can't get in. Good problem to have. So I guess I can't complain. Madison Card Show this Saturday, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, 9 to 3, free admission. Brian says it's time to rent out a bigger, badder venue. There's just none exist. None exist in Madison that are feasible. That's the key word, feasible. I could do it, but I'd lose money. And dealers would have to pay $300 for a table. Customers would have to pay $5, at least $5 admission, and pay for parking. It's $8 at the Alliant. It's like $16 down at the Monona Terrace. So I don't think you want to spend $16 to park for a one-day card show. At least I don't think the market would make that work here in Madison, Wisconsin. Other places, sure, not here. Madison Card Show this Saturday. Looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm going to be buying anything. I say that every month, but I probably will. We'll see. I've been on a buying spree over the last few months, but it's been great purchases, with the exception of one purchase where it was like probably a poor purchase. But for the most part, everything's been great. The binder purchase from 2 weeks ago in Janesville, the 55s have been flying. I think with those, I'm nearly at break even. And then I sold a partial set of 1980 tops, which is I'm going to get into today, which I think put me over the edge. And I still have fucking 50 binders. A lot of them are junk. I'm going to pull some cards out of those. And then I may take, I think Johnny M said $10 a binder on some of that junk stuff. We'll see if those go. But I'm also having fun putting binders together, and that's the topic today. Binders are fun. So I don't know what I'll end up doing. Back to the card show real quick. Nick says, have you ever considered getting an autographed guest for your show? I have. It's just, I'm not an autograph guy. Like, I'm not into autographs. And I had this conversation. You can watch it, listen to it this Sunday. It's going to go live on Victor the Rookie Card Specialist YouTube channel. We had a great in-depth conversation on promoting a card show. I think this did come up in our conversation. But I have thought about autograph. It might have come off. It might have been something we talked about off air, but I'll share my thoughts here. I don't feel autograph guests are worth it when it comes to a monthly card show with the budget of a monthly card show, because what you're going to get is players that have been retired for 30 years and that really don't have that name recognition where they may locally, some of the local shows around here have had like Chester Marcole, Don August, those you might get a few people in the door and you'll sell a few autographs. But for the most part, that's the type of talent you're going to be getting. Zach and Porter says that yes, Erasmus James, that's the type of autograph talent that you're going to get. And that's just, you can bring in, again, it kind of goes back to the venue conversation. You can bring in a big name, but you're going to have to pay for it. And then I'm going to end up losing money because people don't want to spend $200 on an autograph. And that's what it takes. So the juice ain't worth the squeeze for a small show with the budget that we work with. I've tossed the idea. Now, does that mean I'll never do it? Absolutely not. I have thrown around the idea, and I've got a friend who is kind of like the autograph manager of a few former big leaguers. And, we've had a couple conversations, and it's hard to match up dates as well. And especially if you're working with a current player, you've got a couple months to work with, and that's it. So I've thought about some different things. I just don't think it's going to work. Timing for one. And then, is it really gonna, what does it really benefit the show? And what I'm dealing with now currently with Madison is my venue just, where do I don't have, before I expanded into the State Street Ballroom, it's like, well, there's a third ballroom that can be the autograph room if I ever chose to do that. Now that I've been using that, we're going to take that away, but they're only allowing me to book it 1 month in advance. If I want to continue booking it, that's why I'm not. And I also have to, not only when I rent it, I have to set the entire room up myself. So that's a pain in the ass. So that's kind of the thing that I read. It's like space, and then I would have to have volunteers or hire people to help because I wouldn't be able to run an autograph guest and the entire card show on my own. I do know my limitations. So have I considered it? Yes, absolutely have considered it. I've not done it. I don't really have any aspirations to do it, but I have thrown around various ideas. So it could happen. Unlikely, but it could happen. Yeah, active players cost too much to not take a loss. Absolutely. Current players are just, unless your brother is a major league player and gives you the family deal, it's going to be, too much. John says, having an autograph guest at my show in November, have no idea how we're handling it. That would make me nervous. Although I get nervous, like when I expand, every expansion, I was nervous. How am I going to handle a downstairs and an upstairs? And it worked out. Oh my God, I'm doing a third room. How am I going to handle it? It worked out. Oh my God, I'm doing a TCG only room and I got to set all these rooms up myself. How am I going to do it? It worked out. I didn't like it. I don't like it, but I only have 1 more month of doing it. And then I can rest easy beginning in September. We're going to talk binders today. We're going to talk vintage sets. We're going to talk partial sets. Yesterday morning on Hobby Evolution, if you would have told me today you're going to list partial sets on eBay, I'd be like, you're fucking out of your mind. And then if you would have told me yesterday morning on Hobby Evolution, you're going to list partial sets on eBay and they're going to sell, I'd be like, you're really out of your fucking mind. But here we are. And that's what this show is all about. Evolution, evolving, and in my eBay store and sales have evolved once again. And I found myself last night on the floor of my rec room watching wrestling and putting cards in binders like I was 10 years old watching Hulk Hogan, brother. And that's what I was doing last night. So I actually last night, Tuesday night, my buddy, one of my buddies said, text me, said, "Hey, you want to go out for beers tonight?" I'm like, "No, I had my eBay auctions to list." I'm like, see, sometimes you have to take, what do you call it? Not risk, sacrifices. You have to make sacrifices. So I sacrificed going out to the local Village Green to list eBay auctions on Tuesday night. So I'm like, not tonight, but I can tomorrow. So I texted him yesterday. I said, "Hey, beers tonight." And he's like, "I've got concert tickets, but my buddy that was going to go with me just canceled. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm not a big concert guy, but who's playing? I can't even remember. I got to look it up." Oh, I got another eBay to share. Okay. Let's go here and here. So I said, "What concert?" He said, because there is some like decent bands that come through town. And he said, "King Dunn." I said, "What the fuck is that?" He said, "Guitar player from the Melvins and bass player from Mr. Bungle. It's some weird shit." I said, "I don't know who the Melvins or Mr. Bungle is." And then I said, "Where's it at?" He said, "High Noon Saloon on East Wash." And as soon as he said East Wash, I'm like, I'm out. I'm not going all the way on the other side of town. Are you crazy? On a Wednesday night? I said, "That sounds awful." And he laughed. So I hope he enjoyed King Dunn. I did listen to, I went to YouTube and I'm like, I just got to check this out because my buddy's into some weird, he's a deadhead. He's into Fish, like all that weird shit. I'm sorry if you're into Grateful Dead and Fish, but just not for me. And so I listened to King Dunn, and it was a good song. Like I was like, okay, this is okay, but I'm not going to East Washington to watch this band. So I went to the gas station, got me a 6 or a Coors Light. So I drank some Coors Light and bindered up some cards and watched wrestling. I will be going to a concert next weekend, though. Yeah, John knows what's up. Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam, next Saturday, Wrigley Field. So I got my ticket. And that's going to be good. John says, "Bo doesn't know cards and he makes a living. Doesn't need to know the Melvins to enjoy Pearl Jam." That's right. That is right. Brian says, "Beer and binder sounds like an awesome night." It was. It was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. So before we get into, we'll go back into the chat and we'll talk binders. But I want to talk about hang on, responding to a message. So I got a notification this morning of a sale on eBay, and Leandro Bernal 2023 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor Auto. And I'm like, oh shit, that's sold? So it's been listed in my eBay store for about 6 months. And at $75 or best offer. I've had, I think, 2 offers in the last 6 months. I think my highest offer was like $30. And it's getting close to like the net, but it's a prospect. So I won't run this at auction now or in the next 4 months, because this is like the worst time to run auctions on. Auctions suck if you're going to run prospect autos right now, not the time to do it. So I probably just let it ride in my eBay store for another 4 months. And then once we hit, January, when people start buying prospects, let's run it, price sell for $20. It sold at full price this morning, $75. Leandro Bernal, gold refractor auto of 50. I'm like, hey, bought and paid for. I like it. So it's funny how sometimes things sell. It's like in the best offer that I received was less than half of list price. And there you go. It sells at full price. Like, yes. John used to know Eddie Vedder's butthole groomer. Wow. That's nice. Let's go to the top of the chat. We're going to talk binders. Binders are fun. Jody's in the house. Good morning. Mr. Archer is here. What's happening? Victor, good morning. Maddie Ice, what's going on? Good morning. Zach and Porter are here. What's going on? Orlando's in the house. What's up? Art Green is here. Good morning. Last day of vacation. Back to reality tomorrow. Oh, bummer. Bummer. So, man, isn't it weird? I don't know, Art, if you, I don't know if you were just on vacation, or if you were on summer vacation, if you're a teacher, but it seems like back to school is wild, is in terms of I think we talked about this a while back when like a lot of viewers, a lot of chatters in here, teachers, they're like, oh, back to school tomorrow, which seemed like it was weeks ago. Might have been weeks ago at this point. And then like I see kids all the time here, and I forget, like in Madison, they don't start up until after Labor Day. And like my school, my hometown school, they've been back to school for like a week. Yeah, I think last week was when they went back to school. So it's just crazy. And I saw they posted already. They already posted the homecoming court. Like, holy shit! Like, I had to like look at the calendar. Like, wait, it's only August 22nd. I don't know when homecoming is, but usually it's September, I guess. We're almost there. But it was one of those. I've got friends that had kids, and I've a lot of friends that have lots of kids, but it really hits you when like the homecoming court is announced, and it's like, oh, I went to school with his dad and his mom. I went to school with his mom. I went to school with his mom and dad. It's like, oh my God. Oh man. Felt a little old. Back to school. It's crazy. Like some start like early to mid-August, and then some don't go start back up until after Labor Day. Brian's here. Good morning. Time to rent out a bigger, badder venue. Johnny Boy Cards. Good morning. Cooters in the house. You had me at Binders. Zach and Porter. Hollywood Johnny made this show what it is today. I don't know who Hollywood Johnny is. We talked about the autograph guests. Zach and Porter said, keep adding more TCG tables. The demand is there, and the end user deserves choice and not a monopoly. Commerce. Capitalism, baby. We're not socialists here. George is in the house. What's going on? Sports section plus. Skipped work. Fuck, I'm posting hardcore today. Love it. Yes. Mikey's in the house. What's going on? How are your sales? Amazing. Amazing. I am on pace to have the best sales month to date this month, August, which is usually a down month. Now, there's a lot of reasons why that is. 50% off sale. It's been a while since I ran one of those. That was a huge success. Inventory that I'm listing is very liquid. Higher end stuff, it's not a bunch of quarter boxes that I've been listing. So, which is that's the strategy I was taking as I get closer to that 60,000 mark. I didn't list this batch, not yet, but I will be. This is a fun set. This would be a fun set to binder. 2001 Upper Deck Decades. This is I love these sets. and the singles sell sell pretty well. So all those are going to be like $1.75 to $2. So I'm still listing volume. In fact, I think I listed about 300 cards yesterday. I listed some 1967 Topps singles. Those were in a Goodwill pallet, actually. I listed the rest of my 1955 Topps singles. And then I listed some random like Julio Rodriguez, some Bowman Chromatos, Jackson Holiday. Those were from Dollar Box Finds a couple weeks ago in Janesville. The Aaron Judge that I bought for $1 sold for $40 the other day. So pretty happy with that. I think I sold a couple cards out of these. What did I sell out of this batch? I don't know, but I think I sold a couple cards of those listings. So sales have been up. This is kind of misleading because 2 weeks in July I was on vacation. So my last 31 days, my sales dollars are up 75%, which is kind of where I want to be. I didn't completely shut down my store in the first 2 weeks of July, but so that's kind of misleading. I've been looking a lot year to date because that takes into account everything. So this year, now it's early in the day. It's going to take into account August 22nd. So my net sales are actually up 28% year to date, which is nice growth that I like to see. That's a nice number. You don't want it too high because it means your year last year was shitty. But I like to see that 28%. That would be nice. See that year over year growth would be good. Keep building on that. Red Light 34. What's happening? Good morning. And keep making good purchases. That's where it all starts. Sports Section Plus. Skip work to listen today and posting in both stores. Good luck. Love it. Brian says maybe pull in high school athletes, do NIL deals. That was so I did have when NIL went into effect the very first day. I think it was like July 3rd of 2021. Was that 2021 or 2022? I did reach out to the Badgers and we kind of negotiated. We messaged. We didn't really get into negotiation, but just checking interest. And I wanted to have the Badgers quarterback at the time. I think he's with he transferred to Florida and he's on the Davey O'Brien watch list this year. I'm like, ugh. He did not do well. But he was like in college football, he was a top prospect. He was the next best thing. And didn't really work out here in Madison for him. But we messaged back and forth working on deals. But then he signed like a deal with Panini, I think. And I'm sure they paid him a lot more. Then there was all these stories like the Alabama players are getting like $100,000 for autographs. And it's like, all right, the Madison Card Show can't compete with those numbers. So I think we were just way off on the dollar amount. So I have thought about doing like Badger themed. Volleyball is really big here, always competing for national championships. So I've thought about doing something like that. And there's various platforms that it's nicer now. So when it first started, Wisconsin was using, I don't know if they still are, I haven't looked into it very much, but they were using a third party that handled there was a platform for it and all that. But it was very you basically had to go and say, here's my price. Here's what all of it entails. Now, at least what I've looked at, 6 months ago or a year ago, whenever I looked last, at least there's pricing. It's like a meet and greet, a signing. This is the price. And it's a little more feasible than just the wild, wild west of name your price. Steve's in the house. Good morning. Kyle says, good morning. Listening while having Casey's breakfast on the road. Love it. Love it. I had, my wife is pretty stressed out. The whole real estate lawsuit stuff is is pretty stressful on agents, real estate agents. And so my wife made a grocery store run, and she's like, what do you want me to get you something for dinner? And I'm like, no, I think I'm just gonna have a salad. I love raw tuna steak. Oh my God, I love it so much. So I had a raw tuna steak that I picked up the other day. Cut up an avocado and a tomato, a little lettuce, had myself a nice little fresh salad with my Coors Light. My wife brought home like the Panera brand mac and cheese. It's like, ooh, like that's when I know she's stressed out. When she's eating macaroni and cheese, she is stressed out. But my tuna steak salad was delicious. But what I had in the morning, and I skipped lunch because I think my breakfast was so disgusting. I've been trying to find sugar-free cereals, which, do you know how many cereals are sugar-free? Like not even 1%. Like, I'm looking at label, I'm like, Jesus Christ, all these fucking sugar cereals. No wonder we have a problem. And why I had a problem. I still have a problem, but it's getting better. All this fucking sugar in all our food. So I've been trying to find sugar-free cereal, and I've been just bran flakes, just bran flakes. And I put a banana in there, which I guess natural sugars in a banana help the taste a little bit, in my almond milk. And so I got this new, I don't even know what kind it is, but I bought 2 boxes, and it's like in the sugar-free cereals they sell, it's like $10, and you get like 2 bowls of cereal out of it. It's like, Jesus. So this was on sale, and now I know why it was on sale. It was on sale for like $6.99, and it's literally like 2 bowls. Like, you can get 2 bowls of cereal. Now I eat a little larger bowls than probably what a serving is considered on the label. And this was like chocolate, peanut butter, sugar-free, keto-friendly, all that stuff. And it was fucking disgusting. It was the F-bomb times 10. Like, I can still taste it. Ugh. So I bought that and like the cinnamon, and now I'm I think I just might want, this was so disgusting. I think I'm just going to take the other box, return it. And my thought process was, geez, this is only 2 bowls for $7. That's $3.50 for a bowl. But then when you think about it, if you're like out for breakfast, like $3.50 for a bowl of cereal at a restaurant is a steal. Kind of like beer, like $10 for a 6-pack. Ooh, that's $10 for a 6-pack. That's less than $2 a beer. You go to the bar, it's $6. It's weird that we think like that, or don't think like that. Zach wants to know, does Garvey fly coach or private to Pennsylvania? Steve Garvey coming to John's Card Show in November. Trailways. The old Burlington Trailways. Did get him an aisle seat, though. Hope it wasn't the quiet car. Couldn't afford Greyhound. Brian says the hobby doesn't sleep. Hobby doesn't quit. No, it doesn't. Putting cards in binders, no one wants that. I love binders, man. Steve says, in the words of Eddie Vedder, it's evolution, baby. Have you seen the video? It's kind of gone viral. I had a couple friends send it to me. It's LinkedIn names. I wonder if it's on YouTube. With Pearl Jam singing their names. Pearl Jam sings LinkedIn. It's on YouTube. So I don't know. Let me see. Did it start playing? No, it hasn't started playing. Let me present this. Share screen. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the audio. So share it. Wait, am I sharing it? Okay, I am sharing it.
On a feeling, on a portion letter, then it said, I wanna leave it again.
Could you hear that? But I mean, at least you can see it. So if you couldn't hear the audio, at least you could see, and it's hilarious. And it's like, I think it's like 30 seconds long. Zach says, I like putting cards in a binder. What I hate is taking cards out of a binder. Amen. Amen. Putting cards in a binder, awesome. Taking cards out of a binder, awful. Hate it. I had to do that a little bit last night. I had to take some cards out of a binder. Organizing a PC player in a binder is wearing on me. I may go back to boxes. See, that's something that, like, even a small player collection that I have, like Adon Sanchez, it is tiring. And I would say it wears on me as well. And it's like, I really want to put like player binders together with my Cubs PC. But at the same time, it's like, how do I organize? Especially when you get into a player like Ryne Sandberg. It's like, how do I organize thousands and thousands Ryne Sandberg has? And I certainly don't. I have a very small percentage of Ryne Sandberg cards. He has a total of 12,101 cards on Trading Card Database. 12,000. I mean, even if I have 5% of the Sandberg cards, I wonder if I do have, because I have logged quite a few Sandberg cards. Collection. Baseball. I don't think he's one of my top guys, though. He's up there. I have 366 currently logged. I have 820 Ernie Banks cards logged. 326 of them are unique. So I do have 5% of the Ernie Banks run, but there are quite a few that I still need to add. John says, people can understand what Eddie Vedder is saying. Johnny M says, fuck binders. Oh, yeah. Good morning. I'm not going to fuck binders, but I'm not going to love binders. But I will say I did enjoy putting binders together last night. It was fun. So maybe I think I'm closer to I love them. John says, I'm saying let people buy lots and do what they want. There's a great chance they will take them out of binders. And I assume these new bindered cards are for card show only sales. So what I'm doing, here's what I'm doing. And why the topic is what it is today. So the binders that I bought. So if you weren't aware, Janesville Card Show about 2 weeks ago, a dealer friend of mine said, hey, I've got this collection. It's a bunch of binders. There's one binder, 1955 tops. The rest, it's like 1970. I can't remember if there's a 77 binder or if it started at 78. But anyway, 78 up to like 93, 94, like junk wax. He's like, a lot of the big cards have been taken, but the 55s it's a nice binder. I'm like, okay, so I'll take a look. And his like SUV is like completely full of these binders. And I don't even know how many total there are. 50 probably. And it's a lot of junk. It's a lot of like 91 Upper Deck, 91 Fleer, 90 Don, like that crap. That stuff I'm not going to met. Like I'll probably pull Ken Griffey Jr. and Bo Jackson if they haven't been pulled already. But that's about it. And then I may take Johnny's advice and $10 a binder on Facebook Marketplace. But some of the 55s obviously broke those free out of the binder. Those are listed as singles. The idea was the 70s, the 77, 78. I'd probably leave the 79 and I don't know, just put it on a shelf. But I was going to break the 77 and 78 and sell singles of the stars and eventually get around to singles of the others. I have to clear my SU. I have to bring all these in. They're still in the back of my car. So I start bringing some in yesterday. And I just happen to have the 1980 tops binder. And obviously the Rickey Henderson is gone. I knew that when I bought it. But I went through and I looked at it. I'm like, most of the set is here. I looked on eBay for partial sets, and they've been selling for 100 plus for 1980 tops. I had no idea, for near complete partial sets without the Ricky Rookie. Like, well, fuck. So I went through, there were about 14 or 15 cards missing. I was able to, because I've been sorting players for player lots, I had like a Schmidt and a George Brett and a couple other random cards. So I think it ended up being like 12 short of the set. I listed it for $100 OBO on eBay. It sold in less than 2 hours. Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Okay. So that's like, okay. So now I'm looking, what's a 78? And because I know I have 78s coming out of every orifice. So I put a 78 on eBay. It's currently up right now, 150 your best offer. There's, I believe, what did I say? 18. I think there's 18 cards missing out of the 78 set. You know, the rookie, Dale Murphy, the Paul Molitor, the Lou Whitaker and Jack Morris, those are gone. And there's some other random. I was able to fill, I think, 2 or 3 that were in my eBay store. So I took those down, put those in. So I think there's 18 missing out of the 78 set. And then from the estate sale, I have like 1,000, at least 1,000, probably 1,574 tops. And I'm like, oh, I'll put a partial set together. And I feel it's easier, because here's why I would rather sell a partial set than a lot. Because with a lot, somebody may want, I think there's more people that would want the partial set. It's easier to put together. Oh, I just need a couple of the big rookies. Whereas, and they're getting it for, you know, a cheap price, essentially, instead of buying singles for $1.50 or $1 a piece. Whereas with a lot, you've got to, you know, say it's a 100 card lot. People are like, oh, I only need 44 of these 100, and I'm not going to spend the lot price, but they know what they're getting with a partial set. At least that's how my brain is thinking. And I don't have to put lots of 100 together and be like, oh, I have duplicates. It's easy. Like, I know, like, oh, card 117, it's already in the binder. I know it's a duplicate, because once you start working with 100 card lots, like, then you have to sort. Even when I do my 50 card player lots, I notice like, oh shit, there's a duplicate. So it's just easier. The Guitar Roadie from Smashing Pumpkins is playing the wagon wheel in Baraboo. Zach and Porter says, you don't know the Melvins, but love Pearl Jam. Correct. Johnny M says, wanted to bid on the Manning ornament, but shipping is too high. Why not ESE on that one? Because I think it's going to go for, well, it could go for over. I guess it's going to be one of those. I thought I would have put that at 99-cent shipping. But it's like a $20, $25 card. It was kind of, I think it was in my eBay store for 25. So anything that was listed over $20 went bubble mailer. I don't know if there are, I can change, like, if there's no bids on it, I'll change it to ESE shipping. Hell, you might get it for $1 and pay $4 shipping. Get it for $5. Jesus, how come there we go. Let's go to all formats. I'll change it right now if there's. Let's see, auctions. Oh, how come there we go. We got to hit the search button. Come on, man. I don't know why I don't know if it's eBay or every other website is okay. eBay is just fucking slow. Where's the Manning? Oh, no offers. So let me go see if I can revise this. Revise listing. 2000 Pacific Ornaments, 13 Peyton Manning. There we go. Seven-day auction. Where's my shipping? All right, we'll switch this over to it's the eBay auction PWE. There we go. Oh, I got to change. It's only 1 ounce. All right, there you go. 99-cent shipping on Peyton Manning. By the way, my auctions, I did do shipping. The reason I did shipping, normally I'm a free shipping guy. The reason I'm not is because the intent is not to lose money on auctions. Like, if I wanted to lose money, I just list it as a buy it now, like I do many. Hopefully people buy multiple. What I found running auctions, when I do run auctions, is that there's not a lot of crossover. I don't get a lot of volume buyers. Even when you do 100 auctions, I don't get many buyers that are buying multiple. Every once in a while I do. And I had a few, I guess, in the last round. But for the most part, there's a lot of 99-cent auctions that I lose money on. And I don't want to lose money on auctions. I'll lose money on buy it nows, but I don't really want to waste. You get limited auctions. I run limited auctions anyway. So that's why I did do shipping on these. There is combined shipping. It's 25 cents. There's only 47 auctions, I think, going on. So if you happen to win all 47 auctions, I'm not going to charge you 25 cents for every auction, but I don't expect anybody to win all 47 auctions. If you win, if you win 10 auctions, that's what, $1 plus 9. That I'd cut it down to like $4.50 for a bubble mailer. So I'll work with you on that. I'll just send a revised invoice. But basically, if you win 6 auctions, 7 auctions, whatever if it gets up to like $4.50, it'll ship in a bubble mailer. Brian says Bo is a butt rock only kind of fan. I like all music, but I prefer the butt rock. I think Creed has been touring. Bo doesn't know cards and he makes a living. Doesn't need to know Melvins to enjoy Pearl Jam. Amen. Amen. Beer and binders sound like an awesome night. It was. Little Rock Connie doing a meet and greet at Laurel Hill Cemetery. Johnny M says, meeting a guy at 10 this morning. He's buying 4 cherry-picked binders for $40. Nice. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do once I get all these binders and once I get through the card show this weekend. The junk binders will go on Facebook Marketplace. Zach says, Bo, this is like loving Baez and not knowing Dunston. No. Brian says, I have a few sets bindered, 83, 87, 90, 20 through 22 GQ. I do like paging through them from time to time. Yeah, absolutely. I am much more apt to look at cards in a binder than in a box. And I have so, because Goodwill pallets, there's like binder every fucking time. Binders. And then I buy lots and there's junk binders. Chris B, what's up? First live in months and wanting to ask, can you set up a sale based on a SKU or category? I think you can. If so, you could make a clearance category with oldest SKUs to clear stale inventory. Yeah, I could do that. Let's go into how do you do that? Let's go to listings, active listings. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you can do it by, I know you can do one or the other. I can't remember if it's SKU or category. Hell, maybe it's both. Let's do filters, all categories. Okay, so yeah, store categories. So we could do like, hey, let's do 55 Topps baseball. And then you could do bulk. So it's just basically by sort, all formats, all statuses. Item title. Oh, custom label SKU. All right. So say custom label SKU, say it's 1A. Oh shit, that's not going to come up because it's box 1, tab A. There we go. That should work. So I do custom label SKU. There's 64 items in box 1, tab A, but it's garbage. I could also end these. It's like, okay, tab 1A is going into my dime box because these are like a lot of Fleer basketball commons, 89 Fleer basketball commons. And I don't sell it. It's the entire tab 1A is 89 Fleer basketball. So I don't think I would waste my listings on that, but I would like, okay, these are stale. There's tab 4L, I think is football commons from the mid 80s, which I don't sell through very many of those. Oh, texting from the wife. Did Ernie eat? No, but he pooped and peed. Ernie was a very good boy for me yesterday. We get a scare though. So Ernie is very squirmy and squiggly. And we were outside and my wife was coming down the deck steps and she was holding him and he like was like and squirted out and like in midair, like, and he falls on the steps and like rolls down the steps and I had to get him. He's okay. We had to watch him closely just to make sure he wasn't limping or, squinting in pain. He didn't squeal, but he was pretty shook up. But he was a good boy before that and after that. So that's good. It seems like he goes in phases. And I love him so much when he's a good boy. And when he's a bad boy, I just want to leave the house. So Ernie got up with me this morning. He cuddled with me last night. He hasn't been much of a cuddler, but I think he's getting more cuddly. Biscuit was very cuddly. But he went out, he pooped and peed this morning. And then I put him back into bed and he just kind of like went back to bed. I don't think he wasn't trying to bite my wife. Nick says we go back after Labor Day in NYC. Yeah, it's kind of weird how returning to school works in various places. John says 1981 top sets should remain in the factory seals so that you eventually retire on their proceeds. You fucked up by bindering. Now you're not collecting Social Security until you're 67. Dope. 81 tops, probably one of those that I'm just going to cherry pick. 82 I might do I'll have to look. I don't know what some of these partial sets sell for. I don't think there's much in 81. The Ricky Henderson sells for like $5, I think. But there's really not much in 81. 82 is 82 is kind of an iconic set, even without the Ripken. John says there's kids already in detention. Those are my people. Cooter says, why do I suspect Keating's homeroom was detention? John says, school for me started at 3 p.m. I had many detentions in my school career. I think my favorite detention was how old? We were in junior high, 6th or 7th, probably 7th grade. 7th grade, it was clam chowder day. And come on, clam chowder fucking sucks. No kid wants to eat clam chowder at school lunch. I usually did hot lunch. That's where you get it from the cafeteria. I think we all probably had hot lunch or cold lunch. I rarely brought cold lunch, sandwich and cookies and all that bullshit that you bring in. I always had the school meal. And it wasn't bad, except for clam chowder. Fuck. So, it's clam chowder. I was voted most mischievous my senior class out of a whopping 35 in my graduating class. So I would do things. I wouldn't consider myself a class clown, but I like to push the envelope. And I loved to do dares. Do you dare me? If you dare me, I'll do it. That's who I was. So it's 7th grade, school cafeteria. It's clam chowder day. I'm already pissed because it's clam chowder day. somebody says, this clam chowder tastes like shit. Like, yeah, this clam chowder does taste like shit. And then so probably my friend Scott, he liked to egg me on. Scott probably said, I dare you to tell Mrs. Copley that. I don't know if it was Mrs. Copley or not. It might have been Mrs. Copley. And Mrs. Copley did her like she's walking around. And I said, hey, Mrs. Copley. And she's like, yes. I said, this clam chowder tastes like shit. That's a detention. So I didn't get a normal detention. And I think my friend Luke said something and he got a detention too. So I wasn't in on it alone. And so Luke and I had to serve detention, but it wasn't like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. after school. Well, it was after school detention, but it wasn't like do your homework for half an hour. It wasn't come in at 7:30, do your homework, study hall type of deal. We had to do dishes in the home ec room, which was fun. Like, it's not doing homework. I'll do anything. Like, can I have more detention, please? I'll do anything to not do homework. So whatever home ec class, they made like brownies that day. So we're like eating like leftover brownies, caked on the pan. That was my favorite detention. 7th grade, doing dishes in the home ec room. George says, I sensed disappointment in Bo's voice as he welcomed me this morning. That's George. It's just George. Nick says, do Mike Smrek cards sell well in Madison? I'm going to say no, since I never heard of him. I've never heard of Mike Smrek, and I didn't know his daughter was the star volleyball player at Wisconsin. So I would say no to that. Tracy says, love the way that 78 set looks. I love 78. 78 is an underrated design, in my opinion. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite designs of the 70s. George says, Bo going to pay them athletes in Casey's gift certificates. Hey, if I could, I would. Keep them fed with that pizza. I did, by the way, Jean Morning. Where's my, he sent me a little thank you, a couple Cubs cards and a Casey's gift card. You know damn well I'm going to be buying a pizza with that. John says, you should see if the Badger ice fishing varsity team can sign at your show. Hello, Peter. What's going on? John says, in true Oklahoma fashion, the OSA coach says Monday that his players need to stop worrying about NIL. Tuesday, OSU announces their QR codes on the back of the player helmets to donate to the NIL fund. It's getting crazy. Like, my alma mater, Western Illinois, they have a women's basketball player who is like a stud, who could be playing like top six, what do they call it? Like Big Six, Premium Six, whatever the hell, the top 6 conferences. She could be playing like Big Ten basketball, SEC basketball. She's a stud. And they were worried, like people at the university were worried that she was going to transfer because there's no NIL fund at Western. I think they have started one, but there's limited money in the fund. But that's how they're paying these kids. Like, universities have NIL funds to prevent, and when you see transfers, they're going to schools that have bigger funds. It's all about the money. I mean, it's the NCAA. It's always been about the money, but now it's just like, here, it's in your face. It's not like whisper campaigns. We got to get this guy a Corvette. Cooter says, in Oklahoma, we just keep our days since stupidity and national embarrassment signs set at 0. Have you been to Illinois? Zach and Porter says, Bo's joy and attention to bindering will soon go the way of Howard the Duck pack rips and e-bikes. That's right. And fishing. Go to oatmeal and season it how you want. I do love a good oatmeal. Red Light says, what do you use as a mixing bowl for my salad? I just use we have a giant, it's not even like a bowl. It's basically like a glass container. It would be like a glass form of Tupperware, which I use for my salad bowl. So I use the bigger ones for my salad, and then the smaller ones is what I eat the cereal out of, because our bowls are too small. They're probably regular serving size bowls, but it's like, I want a big bowl of cereal. So I just used my big salad bowl. And then like last night, I chopped up the avocado, put the avocado and tomato in first. Then I chopped up the tuna steak, and then I put a little salad on top because I wanted the good I wanted more of the good stuff and less of the lettuce, right? Turkey Cards, what's going on? Ernie is not here. He was a good little boy this morning. He went out. We went out. He pottied, he peed and pooped, and then I put him back in bed. And I think he stayed good. My wife's got some realtor friends coming over for a little morning soiree. So she's up bright and early. Dan says, which means I need to get upstairs before they come over so I can get my mushroom coffee and get the hell out of there. Dan says, eating some Nutty Butters that friends brought back from the U.S. Nutty Butters. I haven't had a Nutty Butter in a long time. Zach says, growing up, parents wouldn't let me get a cereal if fructose or sugar was in the first 3 ingredients. Sleepovers were an exception. Hated it then. Thankful for it now. And see, I was the opposite. It was like, we did not look at labels in my household, which may have led to my high blood pressure. Who knows? Orlando says, I've put most of my sets in boxes and removed them from binders. Takes up less space. That's the conundrum. Space versus looking at them. Cooter says, there will be many binders for you to enjoy when you get here. Cards are meant to be looked at. Binders make it easier and more likely than boxes. I do agree. I do love looking through a binder. Buying a partial set is the most cost-effective way to build a set from scratch, especially if you already have many of the stars. That's how I built most of my set run. I agree. Yeah. If you're putting a set together, it's just buy a partial set. If you piece it together, it's expensive. Especially if you're building older sets. Like you go to card shows, it's how many 1980 singles do you find at card shows? Not many. You find a shitload of 2024 top series 1. My God. Johnny M says, thanks. I may be wrong, but I think it's an $8 card. What card was that? $8 card. What did Johnny M tell us? Johnny M. What was the $8 card? Johnny M. I don't know what Johnny M said. Let's see. Oh, maybe the Manning. JG says, I paid $19 to ship 40 singles from TNT Auctions. They are the worst. That sucks. Dan says that's ridiculous. I agree. Dan adds, have you touched the cards I sold you yet? Yes. I think I've gone through a lot of them. I were in like bulk sales, like that I just sold for, fractions of a penny. But I did pull, there were like some of the stars that were separated. I did list those. I may still have a few. I think one of the larger boxes, I don't know if I've gone through that one yet though. It took me a while, but I got to them. Kyle says, I enjoy all the NASCAR binders I got from you. When looking for TTM cards, it's easier to flip through a binder than digging through boxes. Yeah. Dan says, in grade school, we were able to go home for lunch. Oh, no, not in Anawan. We didn't have nowhere to go. We didn't have anywhere to go. See, maybe I should have spent more time doing my English homework than serving detention, washing dishes. No, Anawan, very small town. The only place we could have gone would have been, I guess, the Purple Onion, small little cafe uptown. We don't call it downtown in Anawan. What else did we have? I guess the bar restaurant and then the gas station. That was about it. We didn't have much. And it was all like our school in Anawan was on the southwest edge of our town. And most of the businesses were in the far northeast corner of our booming metropolis of Anawan, Illinois. Max doesn't even know what detention was. I could tell you all about detention. Orlando says, I wash dishes daily, must be on detention. Yeah, I am the dishwasher in this house. Dan wants to know, serious question. Broncos in the house. I'm a big fan of binders, both for sets and the majority of my very low-end PC. Yeah, I love me some binders. And I think what makes me love them more now, as opposed to yesterday morning, was that some of these are one sold already. Thank you. 1980 tops. More coming soon to my eBay store. 78. Oh, shit. We got to pump my eBay store before we go. 99centcards.com. 1978 tops, partial set. I think it's 708 cards out of 726 currently in my store. $150 or best offer. I think that's a pretty good deal. And there are some stars in there. I don't think I have that binder in here with me, but there are quite a few stars in there. AA cards in the house. Good morning. With your SKU system, do you list by set and then have numerical in your SKU? No, I don't do any sorting. For example, SKU AAB12 and have 100 cards in there are 2024 Bowman first. Are they in numerical order? No. The only time they're even in by set is if they are, if that's how I got them. So for example, these cards, I haven't listed these in my store yet, but I will be. I guess they're somewhat in numerical order, but that's the way I got them. I'm not going to spend the time. That's why I do SKUs, so I don't have to sort, because it's very time consuming. So these were all listed together. So this is going to be SKU 28Z. So 28Z is going to be all 2001 Upper Deck decades. So, but 28Y is a mishmash. There's an Austin Riley Inception out of 75. There's an Snap Julio Rodriguez. There's a Topps Chrome Ronald Acuna. There's a first Bowman from 2019 Michael Bush. There's autographs. There's just a bunch of random. The only thing I do is keep them by sport. So I'll list all baseball at the same time, all football in the same SKU. So that's how I do my SKU system. Max says, no, Dan, LOL. Just never had one. I was in school to get to college. Didn't want to waste my time. I was in school to nurture relationships and build relationships. So I didn't have to do homework and all that stuff, which really worked out in college. And I think part of that was, I went back when I was in my late 20s. So I had, a lot of my friends were in professional capacities, graphic designer, videographer. And so, you've got to do a resume video. Hey, Sean, college videographer, can you help me with this project? Yeah. Hey, Neil, can you do my homework for this graphic design? Yeah. And I got really good grades. And all it cost me was a couple 12 packs of whatever beer they drank. Tiger727, good morning. I stopped at an antique store near Green Bay yesterday. I wanted to purchase some low-end Brewer Glendale PD cards, but the price tag was stuck on the cards. Well, that sucks. Travis, good morning. Love binders too, but what's the best way to keep those 3 cards in the first column from indentations? That's a great question. I don't know. That was the Mike Trout rookie card that I pulled from Goodwill pallet number 1 was indented from the binder ring. Still sold for $600 at the time, but it could have sold for more had not had that indentation. Bronco says, I was in school to nurture relationships is code for I did the least amount of work possible and graduate, aka D's get degrees. Aha! You got it, baby. C's and D's, baby. High school, I got better grades. I got good grades in college. College was so much easier than high school for me from an academic standpoint. But I also had friends that helped me. So maybe that's why. You couldn't get that because in high school, it's like quizzes and tests. You didn't have all these big projects that you could have your friends do for you. All right. And I'm not worried about the younger generation learning because we don't have any viewers under the age of 18. So Max was scared to come home with a report card that didn't have a 4.0 on it. My parents were super chill. Like, they were super chill. I only got grounded one time, and it was for poor grades. I got really bad grades. I think it was 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. Smart friends are the best friends. Yes. And then I was always concerned in college when we had group projects and people wanted me to be in their group because I was the smart one. That's like, oh shit, we're fucked. If you want me in your group, we are fucked. So here we are. Here we are selling baseball cards out of a basement, baby. That's what my teachers would always say. If you don't get your grade, you're going to be selling baseball cards out of your basement. Really? That's a thing? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Save 25% off at checkout if you buy 7 or more items. Items include sets, partial sets, lots, singles, whatever. 25% when you buy 7 or more at regular price, 99centcards.com. I've got a 78 Topps baseball partial set listed right now. I'm working on a 74. Hopefully tonight I'll have that listed. Going to do some shipping today. What is today? Thursday. We got to get ready for Saturday. Bronco's going to be there. Saturday's the Madison Card Show. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. 200 tables. It's our last shebang with 200 tables. We're going back to 140 tables for the September show. So this Saturday, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. September 28th, October 19th, November 30th, I think, and December 28th is the rest of the year for the Madison Card Show. So hope to see you Saturday. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. Shit, tomorrow's Friday already. It's the free-for-all. We're going to play a little Name That Player tomorrow morning. We're on puppy time. Could be 7, could be 7:30. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow morning.